Hey everyone, this is Kimmy. I am Mama on a Mission, and I have what I'm calling a hodgepodge thrift haul for you guys today. I am a 14-year online reseller who primarily deals with clothing, and I sell on eBay, Poshmark, and Depop. So I am calling this a hodgepodge thrift haul because I don't know how you guys all are, but I always seem to have like a smidgen, a small part of random thrift hauls like left all over my office. So like I'll get through a whole bag and then there'll be like a half a bag. And then for some reason it'll just get flown to the side. And I realized that in an effort to get rid of my death pile and move on to the next set of things, that I had like 4 different bags of like leftover thrift haul, I guess you can say, with like 6 items in it. So this is going to be a little bit of a mix of items. I peeked in a couple bags. I see a few things I remember. If you are new here, I am always just a little bit behind. And maybe one day I'll just stop saying that because you guys will be like, it's Kimmy, she's like a week behind. And that's just kind of how I am sometimes. Well, pretty much all the time. Yeah. So I just have a hodgepodge of different bags here. I have a couple Goodwill. I have a garbage bag. A couple of my thrift stores, like I think when people bring in donations to their shop, like they save some of the garbage bags that they like use to reuse at like the checkout. So I got a couple garbage bags of things and even a couple Salvation Army. So I've mentioned before that I am in an area where I kind of have options like within an hour vicinity of me. I'm like in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, but at the same time, I can drive an hour this way, drive an hour this way, and have several options. And what I've always kind of done is not put all of my eggs in one basket. So I'm not always a bins person. I'm not always a Goodwill person. I do go to garage sales and estate sales when I can find them. So I source my items for my business in a lot of ways. So I always have a little bit of a story to go through some of these items. We'll see what I remember, and I will give you guys kind of information on why I think I picked the items up, what I paid for them, and just an estimate of what I think they will go for. So I'm just gonna dive in. I know, do I look like a mess because I got all these things going on? Oh, and I remember this piece, and so I also don't primarily focus in like one type of even clothing item. So you have a lot of sellers who maybe only do a certain style or certain sizes. Like I know there's people who only do plus size, which I do plus size, but I do have a wide range of items that I pick up. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just like to learn about a lot of different things, and this turned out to be a pickup that I now kind of question. So here's the story behind this. And this was half off. So there is a whole genre of like a Y2K late 90s vibe, a trend, a fashion trend out there, or an aesthetic. Y2K being like the early 2000s. And a lot of those items that sell really well revolve around certain like old mall brands. They're still mall brands. Like Hollister, Abercrombie, Aeropostale, those types of, even American Eagle has Y2K based items that really are more of a style based because it's a Y2K item. It's not necessarily because it's Hollister. It's because people are looking for items that are from that time period. So I picked this up because I thought it was different and it looked Y2K to me. And the tag there's the Aeropostale tag, and I thought it says made in Indonesia. It does say that. And it turns out this is only like a 10-year-old piece, so it's not even Y2K, it's not vintage. So this is just going to be an okay piece. I will maybe even put like a keyword of like mall brand in there, but it's like a tunic with a kangaroo pocket, long sleeve, little glitter. So this was only like an okay pickup, and that's okay. You know what? You're not always going to have winners, and that will sell, but it's not going to be $1 million sale, which I sometimes say to you guys. It's not $1 million sale. Oh, I forgot about this pickup. Now I'm kind of back to being a little bit excited. I mean, it's not, this is not, I don't know why I say that. It's not $1 million sale. Although I wish they were. The brand is Donut, which I don't know if that kind of seems funny to me as a name. Donut. Designed in California, USA. And this turns out to be a decent sale, a decent pickup. Look at that, mom brain is already kicking in and we're only a couple minutes in. But this, like the whole NASCAR thing is a vibe and a trend. So people are constantly looking for different like racing, NASCAR, that type of stuff. And this particular shirt actually ended up, see, it has, I remember looking in the store and saying, oh, well, this is actually not too bad. This is like a $30 sale, $25, $30 sale, which truly is my bread and butter. A lot of my sales are in that range. So the price was only $3.99. I will put some of those keywords like NASCAR, what's it say? Hardcore donut. I don't know, it's like a truck racing. You know, I'll kind of put some of those keywords in there for people who are looking for a racing type of graphic t-shirt. And, you know, there's a huge desire out there for graphic t-shirts. So I would definitely keep an eye out on cool graphic tees. Now, the brand says Overdrive. It's Choco, C-H-O-K-O, which is actually not a terrible brand. But the reason why I picked it up is it says Snap-on there. I think I paid $5.99, so that's actually less than I thought. And it even has the Snap-on on the zipper pull there. There's like a following for Snap-on. And honestly, a lot of like mechanical type of brands, even like in a racing, NASCAR type of way, there is a following for certain mechanical, I guess, type of brands. Snap-on, Milwaukee, DeWalt. I'm trying to think of more brands that people like picking up these items. Now, what I will say is that a lot of items that have logos like in this on it end up actually being like devaluing the item. However, there are certain logos that will bring the item up. So Snap-on being one of them. If you can find one of their jackets, that's where you'll probably make a little bit more money. I remember the solds for this being in like the $25, $30 range. And I'll definitely, this looks like 100 since 1920. So it's a 100th anniversary on there, which I do also find like anniversary things for Levi's, Harley Davidson, and sometimes people do want to pick up the anniversary, like 100-year anniversary, 120-year anniversary. They want to pick up those different dates. So those would be, that would be the advice that I would give you, is look some of those brands, like I said, Snap-on, Milwaukee. I know there's more. Someone else chime in. I know one of you who are so smart out there. You always help me with keywords and brands and things. Just, you know, try to pay attention to like that kind of realm. I'm always telling you guys about all the different types of items I pick up, you know, plus size and graphic tees and band tees and, you know, the Gothic era, like the Gothic vibe, the Y2K vibe, the boho vibe, all these different things. Maybe that's why I always sound so crazy on these videos, is because my brain is going like 300 miles an hour and my mouth and brain are just like not coordinating. I don't know. So this is a vintage, here we go. This is a vintage Y2K era pickup. It is still new with tags. It says $89. It is Evan Picone, which this is not a brand, like a brand you really want to be looking out for. I picked this up because it's a style pickup, which means I primarily pick it up because it fits one of those styles that I talk about often. Now this is new with tags, so that will elevate it mean, I can't believe this was $89 like 20 years ago. That's pretty expensive. But this dress has the baby doll style cut here. And then it has some ruching under the chest. It is like a midi length dress. It is the dark black with the purples. And those are all reasons why I picked this up. You can see this like ruching, and then the baby doll cut is like underneath the bust line, and then usually like more of a V-neck or a cut V-neck, so that it's a little bit tighter around that area. So for all those reasons, this is definitely going to be like a dark, fairy goth, Y2K. I might even put like prom or event in this, because people are looking for dresses for prom and events that are from the Y2K era. Now, you know, this one doesn't have all the items. I like to stack the reasons why I picked them up. Like if that had sheer sleeves or an asymmetrical hem or even a bell sleeve, that would add more value to it in my opinion. I'm going to guess with my keywords that I'll put in there, being that it's new with tags, I'll get about $30 for that dress. But remember, that was just a style-based pickup. Now this is a brand, shockingly, I don't find a whole lot of. This was only $4.99, and it's not going to be $1 million piece, but it's a brand you all definitely should look out for. It's Ariat, which is a cowboy, cowgirl, equestrian, ranch brand. If you find anything in this brand, unless it's like completely falling apart and not like it's not usable, it's almost always a pickup. A-R-I-A-T. Ariat. And I don't find it a whole lot, honestly. Woo. Do you see how fast my super skills were there? So fast. So this, ooh, I can feel this is soft. Let's find the tag. Ooh. Yes. So this is a new with tag. Henry Bendel. I've only found this brand one time. Henry Bendel, New York. 100% cashmere. It says right on here, stripe scarf. This is a brand that you definitely want to keep an eye out for. They seem to, they do a lot in higher quality materials. This is cashmere, silk, those types of things. I'm not a huge scarf pickup person, although I was just listening to the Grateful Reseller, who is Quemby, and she does really well in scarves. So it's kind of ironic that this is an item I'm finding today, because she specifically talked about the materials, that scarves in nicer materials, Angora, cashmere, silk, even a wool blend, all of those are things that she looks out for. Dry clean only. So this brand, new with tag, scarf, 100% cashmere, I would say this is going to sell for about $30. If you're going to get into scarves, it's kind of difficult. Maybe go look up for Quenby. She does do a lot in scarves, but I would stay with items that do have a higher quality material, or obviously a higher brand, but definitely stick to higher quality materials. Now this looks like, yeah, another style-based pickup here. This brand is not anything you need to write down. Susan Lawrence. I paid $6 for this, which is kind of a lot. I wonder if it was half off. Normally, when I bring home my bags, if there was a color that was half off, I will write down half off on the tag before I forget, like now. And actually, I think there was a, look it. There is a, it says right on here, look at me go. Red is the color of the week. Discount, 50% off. So I was going to say $6 is kind of a lot for me for a style-based pickup. So right there, my long Goodwill. So this was only $3 then, which makes a lot more sense. This has, again, the Y2K dark, the Y2K 2000s era. I almost feel like I should just delete this whole video, you guys, and start over. With the floral, this almost gives me Asian-inspired vibes. It again has the baby doll cut with the V neck in there, and it does have this like side, like kind of side accent here, which is very common in the Y2K baby doll style tops. And this is a 1X, which is an okay size. It's ironic because a lot of times I am looking for the bigger sizes, and you'll hear a lot of resellers say that they're looking for a certain brand in larger sizes, extra large or especially plus sizes. But a lot of times in my style based, especially more of like the fairy, dark, romantic, gothic type of style, I actually do better in smaller sizes like small and medium. So there's a little bit of information. It's really a really pretty floral baby doll. My style based pieces, a lot of them go in the $25 range. I usually start at $25 or $29 and hope to hit in the $22, $25 range, and that was $3. Now I remember this. I did pay up for this. This is another style based piece. Look at me go with all these style based pieces. Oh my goodness, I'm actually surprised at myself. So this is, I'm going to market this to the goth, emo, witchy, even maybe, did I say grunge? See this? Like layered, lacy, kind of like it looks a little bit worn. It does have this tie. It's tiered. This is, if this was a maxi, it would add a couple more dollars to it. Being that we're going into summer, I still think this, like, it's about a knee length, maybe a little bit longer. I think it's still going to be okay. But all of those reasons, this is why this is a style-based pickup. These like little ruffle layers, the lace accent, even the tie, the tiered, and it's awesome that this is just like a pull-on. And then I can picture someone who wears this style, maybe wearing like a high combat boot or, you know, like a biker boot to go with this. So this is definitely a style-based piece. This is unique. I don't really find a whole lot of skirts with this type of layered, grungy look. So I'm going to price that up for sure. I'm guessing I'm going to put that in the $30 range. You guys still here with me? How's the Hot Mess Express today, huh? Okay. Sorry, my brain, you know, it's just a little mushy sometimes, so. Oh, okay. Here's a brand to definitely keep an eye out for. Diane von Furstenberg. Very long. If you see this brand, absolutely take a second look at this. And I believe this was silk. I can feel it. I remember looking at it. It's a dress. It's lined. I could see the tag in there, but it doesn't want to find me. It has an empire waist. Where is that tag? It feels like silk to me. I'm almost positive this is silk. Okay. Well, for the sake of everybody's sanity, look at this. She is this is a designer piece. Now what I find in a lot of my designer pieces, and maybe it's just me, that sometimes they do sit a little bit longer, or maybe it's because usually the price is a little bit more on designer pieces, unless of course it's like super desirable. Now this has a unique, like, I'm gonna put maybe the keywords artsy. It kind of gives me like an art to wear type of vibe. It has this empire waist, and it's definitely like a short dress. And I remember looking up comps. This dress had been listed and had sold in the $50 range. I finally found this tag. Let's see if I can see what it says. 100% silk. Oh, and it gives the, ooh, and a lot of these, like, see that? That's like their holographic. It's, you know, to hopefully show that it's authentic. Now, I mean, I've only sold this brand maybe 10 times in my entire career, so I am not an expert, but it looks fine. It looks authentic to me. And I do remember looking up comps at the shop, at the store, and seeing that this had already sold and there was other ones listed. This one is a size 8, and that's actually a great size for some of these designer pieces. So like I said, I think I'll get about $50 for that. And the price on it, don't get too close to my face, huh? It was $7.99. So that is a little bit higher price for me for pickups at a thrift store. However, being that I was Diane, I mean, I don't know. I don't find that brand a whole lot, so sometimes I get excited and I just pick it up anyways. I think that's going to be a good sale. If you find that brand, you definitely want to look at it. And it's 100% silk and it's lined. That is a solid pickup. So here's another brand that I've been doing more with in the last maybe year. Ralph Lauren. Now this is the black tab. So that's a different line. A lot of times you'll see like the green tab, the blue tab. And this is a really nice, this is a in-season piece. I'll get this listed right away. Beautiful floral dress. Look at this floral print. Really pretty. Boho, floral. I wouldn't say maybe tropical. It does have this tie and a stretch empire waist. And see this? This is when you have the tiers. And that's another keyword people do look for. Hopefully that comes up okay. I see a little weird shadow in there. Size 12 is a great size. Really pretty dress here. I would assume that this is going to go in the 30 to 40 range. I'm going to say I'll probably list that at 39 unless I see comps are going maybe even higher. But I don't see that going for any lower than $30. Now I see this. This says Fashion Bug. You guys remember Fashion Bug? I don't think they're around anymore. Made in USA. Extra large. Price tag. So this apparently was sold at Fashion Bug, but the brand is Studio 1940. This is a vintage piece for sure. Oh my gosh, it's a halter. I think I had this in my, back in the day. I think I maybe had this. My light is not picking this up too beautifully. However, this is such a Y2K item. Anybody who actually grew up during that time frame, do you remember like this around the neck halter with the tie? Here's that baby doll. That's how that baby doll fit is. This has sequins. Oh yeah. This is a very quintessential Y2K baby doll halter, tie around the neck. This would be something I probably would have worn around my late teens and 20s to a dance, to a club. You could maybe even put like Y2K club wear. And it's still newer tags. That is a great style-based piece. Again, oh man, that's kind of exciting. I don't know. I don't normally do jeans. Please forgive me. Oh, I was gonna say if these are for my husband or my kids or something, please forgive me because I don't do a ton with jeans. I would love to do more with jeans. And look at this. It's your girl, Judy Blue. Now I do remember looking through a bunch of Judy Blue jeans, and there was a ton, but they had them all priced up. I do believe I took a chance on this one at $12.99 because it's potentially my size. It's a 16W. Sometimes Judy Blue runs big, sometimes they run small. More so, they run big. People are always telling you to size down. So I may give this a shot, although it's not a tall, and I usually need talls. But it is newer tags, and that will definitely elevate the value. High waist, wide leg. Those are definitely the style right now for a lot of people is wide leg or flare. I'm even doing okay with like bell bottoms. The comps are looking really good. The bell bottom is back for some people. So newer tags, Judy Blue. If you find Judy Blue and it's not priced up to $1 zillion, I definitely would say it's worth a look. This is a wide leg, newer tag, great size at 16W. I would guess comps are in the $40 to $50 range for this. These jeans, you know, they're like $80 at boutiques. Really cute crossover in the back. They have this really like nice stretch to them. That's why people love them. And they're just styles, they fit like a glove. So Judy blue, wide leg, new with tags. Those are all the huge selling points. $12.99 is actually high. I do think I took a risk because maybe they'll fit me. I'm not sure. But if not, I feel good that that's gonna sell it in 40 bucks. Maybe even a little bit higher. Because it's new with tags. I have another jean here. We might as well just look at it and see what I was picking up that day. What's another pair of Judy blues? All right. And these are 14W, but this is a skinny. Now these aren't new. They're $7.99. Oops, there's that Judy blue. 14W. Skinny jean. Now, if you can find these at the bins or a little bit lower cost, I would say that would be excellent. This has the raw hem with a little bit of an accent here. I like this little cutout, but this light fraying at the end is called a raw hem. A little smidge of a destruction there, or distressed look. These are super cute and in great condition. One of the things I always try to look out for in jeans is the back tab. Make sure that those are in good condition, not super worn or bleeding. You want to make sure that there's no like stretching here in the thighs or puckering. It looks like maybe there's just a smidge, or sometimes it's just wrinkles. But again, Judy blue, great size in the 14W size. Skinny leg, I would say maybe devalues it a smidge. But the fraying is super cute there, the raw hem there. So those, it's like a plus minus. You guys know that that's how I kind of add value and subtract value. This is, you're not gonna be able to see it, but there's this tiny little silver thing that says knitted and knotted, which is an Anthropology brand. If you're new to Anthropology, there's like 100 brands that are underneath the Anthropology umbrella. Some of them do really great, some of them don't do anything, meaning in resale value. So, you know, it's, I would definitely say older Anthropology pieces, you need to stack the reasons why you would pick it up. Now, this does have a silk and modal blend, which is excellent. An excellent material. This is kind of cute. Has like boho vibes. See how it has that like mesh cutout? What does it say for size? Just medium, made in Turkey. It was a half off, so I only paid $3 for this. That's just like a basic piece, but the silk and modal will elevate a little bit. This is like a lightweight sweater, which is nice. So I still might be able to sell it here in spring because it's not super heavy. Oh, I don't know where to go. I had an extra bag here. Knitted and knotted, Anthropology. Let's see what's in here. Oh, I have a couple shoes. Okay, let's see what's in here. Oh. See, and sometimes I'm like, why did I forget to list or look at a couple of these items? Because I see an item in this bag and I was so excited that day to find it. This was like the find of the day when I found this item. I think I even texted or messaged my sister. But so far, we're doing great, actually, in this little hodgepodge mix of the end of several different thrift hauls. I mean, we have Diane von Furstenberg. We had that cashmere, brand new with tags scarf. We have Anthropology, Judy blue. I'm trying to see what else is sitting here. We have several style-based pickups and even a racing graphic tee. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now, this is someone, like I know this guy, Peter Millar. I am being a little bit more picky with the items I'm picking up from Peter Millar. It seems like the market is oversaturated. But this is a nice quarter zip size, extra large Crown Sport. Now again, this is a brand, when it notes some of those things, summer comfort, Crown Sport. You want to look that specific type of item up because sometimes that will add value to your items. See what kind of material this is. It's just polyester, so nothing too exciting. I'm gonna guess I'll get maybe 25 to 35 for this. although it is a quarter zip. Now, if you're talking about lighter weight pieces, maybe a polo shirt or something, usually that would be a little bit less of a value. This is a nice quarter zip. It has a nice crown logo. You know, a lot of times when people are buying items, they want to have that logo so that they can show off that they spent a lot of money on it, and I don't blame them at all. So when you have nice logos like that, that also adds value, so you can put logo in there. Peter Millar, like I said, that's still a solid bread and butter for me. Just be a little bit more cautious, and if they're asking like $12.99 for it, unless it's something super substantial like a coat, it's probably not worth it. A lot of the places I'm going to, like thrift stores, are pricing that brand up. And even honestly, Judy Blue, they price up a ton. So when you're talking about items that now they're pricing at $12, $15, it's a lot of times just too much for you to flip the item and make it worth it, right? I mean, for me, minimum $10, $15 potential profit has to be in the equation to really make it worth my time. Unless it's something I know I'm going to flip in a day. And even then, like 10's like the bottom. Like if I don't think I'm going to make 10, it's just not worth it. This, though, my friends, was a fun find. That was just my dryer going off. This was a great find. I was really excited to find this. Probably going to be my best flip of this haul that I see so far, this random haul. But I feel pretty good about all these items, no lie. Here it is, Spanx. Now, people are saying slow down on Spanx, and I agree. But I picked this up. If you can find Spanx for $2 and it's like something like a jean or something more substantial, I would say pick it up. Here's the thing. This is new with tags Spanx. Does it say any style on here? Flare jeans in a vintage indigo. Fantastic. Now, I do remember like someone had dropped these on the ground, so there's like a little dust on it. I was just going to... Are you guys' thrift stores like that at all? Like, I see some of these resellers in their videos, and their Goodwills are pristine. Like, who is running these Goodwills? Can they come clean my floors? But a couple of my thrift stores, like, if you drop something on the floor, it's pretty much a goner because the floors are dusty. Not that it's like gross. They're just really dusty or dirty, and a lot of times even the dresses get ruined because they're like going across the ground, which I do feel bad, but you can't even really tell. There's a little bit of dust at the bottom of these because they were dragging on the floor a little bit. $8.99 for new with tags Spanx flare leg jeans. Now this is a great pickup. I remember looking in the store at the time. There's your flare. And the solds were in the $60 to $70 range for new with tags Spanx flare. The size is a large. All of those things are great. This is like not a style-based pickup really, besides the fact that it's flare. Like if you can find a Spanx new with tag jean for a fairly low cost of goods, it's probably a pickup. $8.99 is okay, but for new with tag Spanx, I feel like that's a total win. Super cute. Spanx jeans are like $120, $140 brand new. Like I said, even those Judy Blues, like they're $80, $90 jeans brand new. So, you know, you can expect to get maybe half off of that depending on the, you know, how much people really do want. They want Spanx and they want Judy Blue right now. So those are great. At the end of another bag here, all these ends of, I'm gonna guess this was maybe 4 to 5 little bits of you guys have to tell of thrift hauls if you guys do that. Like you get processed like 20 items and then you have like 3 left. Why am I like that? Why are you the way that you are? I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah. So this I was a little torn about. Someone had just said that they did really good with this brand. And I just happened to find it like 3 days later, etc. Etc. And this is 100% silk. And it had all these beautiful details and it was $4.99 and I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. Look at these beautiful details. All these like sequin, bead, and beading, the buttons. This is like a peplum style. There's a lot of detail on this, and that's why I just found it so beautiful. Silk, you know, I'll put in a lot of those keywords. It really is beautiful. I hate starting out my description with like, this stunning piece, elevate your wardrobe, you know, like, but it really is stunning. Beautiful beading, I'll put bead, rhinestone, sequin, all those different. This is an elegant, going out, fancy. It has this little tie on the side. Just a very pretty piece. I'm gonna guess I'll get $25 for that. It's more of an elegant piece. I don't do a ton with those, so, you know. I don't know, I think it's really pretty. And the purple color for spring. We're just getting into spring stuff. I've been telling you guys in my videos, I'm selling a lot of linens, swim cover-ups, even sandals, because we're now getting into that. Like, we're ramping up, we're almost like there. So those are the types of items. Pastels, florals. This is a bread and butter for me. I'm surprised I only put $4.99 on this. It's Figs. Again, this is a brand-based pickup that is just, I've been selling for a long time. Figs is a medical nursing scrub type of brand. They go around the $25 range. This is a size medium tall. The tall is great. It's the technical collection. This is one of those brands I tell you guys about I love selling because they have all the details right on this little square on the inside. Figs technical collection, medium tall. It gives you all the information you need to put into your listing. Navy blue, nice color, zip pocket, in good condition, $25. And they had $5. You know, that's a bread and butter. My Figs usually sell pretty fast still. My pile's getting a little long here. A little tall here. Ooh, what do we have in here? I see. Like another. See, I'm telling you, I had like 3 different hauls. So far I have 4 receipts to take care of. But like I said, this is just the end of. We'll do the shoes last. What is this, huh? This is $3.99. And I believe this is going to be like another vintage piece. Yeah, the brand is just Sirens. I always joke with you guys that some of these Y2K brands just had like the funniest names. Like I think one time it was Flamingo. I don't know who came up with these, but this is another Y2K. This has like kind of the baby doll cut out. It has, and I remember there was a couple sequins missing, but it does have some pretty sequins here. And this is velvet. So, again, this, because it's missing some sequins, I'm going to guess it's going to go for a little bit less than my normal style-based pickups, but my style-based pickups usually are on the 20 to 25, maybe 30 range, depending on how many different factors I can stack together. Now, this looks like another style-based pickup. And you know, you guys are probably, if anybody's left in this video listening to me, you're probably getting tired of me saying that, the style-based pickup. However, I've learned in maybe the last 1 to 2 years that having style-based pickups and really trying to hone in and understand those pickups can elevate your bread and butter sales, and they're items that maybe other people would pass up, or a thrift store might not think it's, you know, that special because it doesn't look, it's not a, you know, a brand new Nike coat or something super fancy that everybody knows about. Some of these like really popular brands like Patagonia or North Face, you know, all those things are like $20 in my thrift stores, which you almost never hear me say North Face. I don't really do much with North Face. Not saying there's no value there, but most of the time the price is so high that there's really not much meat left on it for me. So hopefully these pickups don't get you annoyed, but maybe you can, you know, give one a shot sometime. See if you can hone in on some style-based pickups. Now this, again, I talk about the color tones in this. It has a grungy look. It has a burnout look. There obviously is glitter in it, the ruffle details. This is definitely a fairy Y2K type of pickup. It's Dress Barn. Nothing special. Made in USA. I paid $4.99. Also, you know, these little, the flare sleeve. Another great style-based pickup. I'll list that for $25, maybe $30. Kathleen Ireland. Kathleen Kirkwood. I just sold something like this. It sold in like 2 weeks for 20 bucks. Again, style-based pickup, $3.99. You know, I do this kind of over and over again. This baby doll, the lace, this is brown, so I could maybe put like very grunge in there because they like the darker colors and maybe sometimes more of the browns in there. The baby doll cutout, that I literally just sold something just like that for 20 bucks. This feels nice. What's this? Oh, it's a Torrid. Torrid is bread and butter for me. Size 3 is a great size. This is a very classic piece. Black, buttons down the front. That's again $20. I always say bread and butter pays the bills because those are items that I'm flipping all the time. $3 to $20, $3 to $25. Now, not bread and butter would be like the Spanx jeans. Now, that's something I don't find all the time and obviously has higher value. In my dreams, I would only sell items that were going to sell for $70, but I just don't always find them. And I only source 1 day a week. Some people go out all the time, but when you have to drive an hour to get to someplace, like I just don't have the time of day to be sourcing all the time. So I do a little bit of my bread and butter, and then hopefully I find a few more exciting things. This is another style-based pickup. Again, with the baby doll, the floral, the ruching. This is dainty, you know, all those things. This, oh, you guys, this is kind of a long haul, but I guess at least I got finished up about 4 or 5 different thrift hauls. This is a great find. This is a Bolo. This one for sure I'll say Bolo with. I don't want to get you guys excited about too many things because I don't want to mislead you in any way, shape, or form. But if you ever find Jam's World, see that colorful tag, Jam's World? That's a Bolo. You want to be on the lookout for this brand. Now, if you find like a really cool vintage Jam's World, that's even better. This feels really nice. It's probably a rayon because a lot of their tropical items are rayon. I don't see a tag. Jam's World. This is size large. A very nice tropical dress. Jam's World. It's called the Brooks. So now I'll be able to look that up. Size large. It's a rayon. Made in Hawaii, USA. I will use all of those things. Jam's World, you really don't need keywords, but I will still put all that information in my description. Made in Hawaii, USA. Tropical, beachy. This is just beautiful. And it's like a maxi. This is it's not as much as the Spanx. It'll probably go, I'm going to say in the $40 range. However, Jam's World is a great brand to look out for, especially in vintage pieces. Even look out in the men's section for vintage tropical, like shirts, silk shirts. I've sold quite a few of their dresses, probably in the $40 range. Now, this is a brand that I do really well with in the plus size, which actually here I haven't done a lot in the plus size, so I'm surprised. This is Ulla Popkin. Ulla Popkin. USA 2830. Now that's a pretty big size. That's a 4X, maybe a 5X. It is brand new with tags. I haven't found this brand actually in quite a while, and most of their items go in the 25 to 30 range, not being brand new. So I'm going to say this will go for even more. This is like a going to the beach, going to the swim zip up, swim cover up. Perfect timing on this, brand new with tags. I'm going to say I will put this in the $40 range. I do a lot in plus size. I love selling plus size. I know other resellers who do plus size, and I started out that way a long, long time ago. I've been selling plus size for 14 years, and the brands kind of do transition just like any, you know, any trend. But Olapopkin is one of those that has always been a good pickup for me. Now, this was a brand I knew nothing about, and I looked at these. I looked it up when I was there. These are $3.99. The brand is Melissa. This is a kid's jelly shoe. These were selling for $30, and they're in great shape. I'm guessing that this pretty hot pink color will elevate it. They're like, there's like nothing, like I don't think anybody wore these. And I do believe it's mainly kids. Let's see if it says USA 5. So that's a kid's size. I don't know what it says. 100% real plastic. That must be one of their selling points to their customers. 100% real plastic. Patent pending. So anyways, these were a great random find. They were in fantastic condition. Melissa jelly shoes. And great on the timing, right? All of this, kind of why I wanted to like scoop up all these items and get them listed, because a lot of them are timing. Like now's the time to list them. I'm not kidding you. I have one shoe in here. This is what happens when you don't process the entire haul at one time. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll do a story when I find the other shoe. I'm sure I have it. It's probably in one of my bins, my shoe bins right here. It's hard to sell just one shoe, but I am sure I will find the other one. This is Aldo. A-L-D-O. This is a driving loafer, and I really liked the camel. These Aldo loafer driving shoes, comfy shoes like this were a $25 sale. Now, these were a brand I knew nothing about. Jaffa, J-A-F-A. Handmade in Israel. That's why I looked it up, and I remember looking it up. They're like wood, natural materials. I wonder if it says somewhere. Really pretty wedge sandal heel. These again were going for $30. Leather, handmade in Israel. Yep. So leather, really great time of year to be doing a lot of these things with the sandals. That's actually what I'm going to do next after I get this haul, is start working on getting these listed and put up the rest of my sandals, because now's the time to do that. Hopefully I'll find this other shoe. That's the story of my life, you guys. Just these. Who else do you know would just have like one shoe? I'm sure it's here. If you made it this long, this is probably one of my longest thrift hauls ever. If you are here, tell me if you like the long thrift hauls or you're like half asleep at this point. I was watching someone earlier who said like she likes to ask funny questions at the end of a long video, because then you know if anybody made it to the end. Like, I think she asked, what was your favorite fruit? Just to kind of gauge whether or not people made it to the end, which I understand. Like, after so many items being shown, you're like, all right, I'm good. I'm going to go check out who, like, someone else is doing, right? My favorite fruit? I love fruit, actually. Pineapple? Watermelon? Strawberry? Cherries. I'm going to go with cherries, actually. I love cherry, like cherry yogurts, like a cherry and dark chocolate ice cream. Okay, now we're really getting into it. Okay, I do love fruit, but I'm going to go with cherry. That's my favorite fruit. And if you are here still after all this time, please know I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Chime in. Let me know how you guys are doing. You guys have the sweetest comments. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. Like, how are your sales? What's selling? Do you have a cool sale lately? And also, what is your favorite fruit? That's it for now. Thanks for bearing with me. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.